I'm trying out a computer-generated voice. I'm very bad at doing voiceovers and it takes me forever, so I thought this may be a more effective way for me to continue making videos. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments. Most people starting out in rod building have trouble getting the thread to climb up the guide foot ramp. This is usually because the grind is not correct on the ramp. In this picture, you can see a guide that has not been ground. The thread can't climb up the ramp due to the thickness of the guide foot. We have to grind the angle down on the ramp of the guide foot. We will need the thickness of the guide foot at the point of the ramp to be thinner than the thickness of the thread we're using. This sounds easy enough, but it's actually a little more complicated than that. You can use something as simple as a file or sandpaper to grind the ramp down on your guide foot. Many people use a Dremel tool, a small grinder, or a belt sander. I personally use a diamond grinding wheel mounted in my lathe. Any of these will work just fine, but some ways are a little faster than others. I will grind the ramp down on this guide foot using a file because many people just starting out do not have the tools to do it with some sort of machine. I am able to file the ramp down as shown in this picture fairly quickly. It's pretty close to being where it should be, but it's not quite right. As you can see here, the bottom of the guide foot and the point of the ramp are not quite level with each other. Ideally, I would want to file this back further until the point of the ramp was flush with the bottom of the guide foot. I could make this work for me though. Let me show you how I would go about doing that. This picture clearly shows that the thread will want to go under the point of the ramp of the guide foot. In order to work around that, I'm going to place part of the rubber band I'm using to hold the guide foot onto the blank under the backside of the guide foot, and that will drop the ramp down into a better position so that I can start my wrap. Once you've wrapped far enough, you can remove the rubber band from under the backside of the guide foot, and that will make for an acceptable looking wrap, especially for a person new to rod building. It's a little chunky looking at the point of the ramp, but not too bad at all really. Now let's take a look at a guide foot ramp that is ground properly. Notice the curvature of the grind. Not only is the point ground at an angle, the sides are tapered down as well. This is what you are wanting to achieve. Also notice that the point is ground back far enough that the tip of the point is flush with the bottom of the guide foot. This allows the tip of the ramp to lay flat against the rod blank. With this better quality grind, getting the thread to go up the guide foot ramp is completely effortless. Now let's do a quick comparison between the quick and dirty filing I did on the first ramp compared to the better quality grind that I put on the second guide. The difference is very subtle to the naked eye. If your eyesight is not perfect, inspect your grinds under magnification. Getting the grind just right will save you a lot of time and headaches when it comes time to wrap your guides. Remember the little trick I showed you about putting the rubber band under the backside of the guide in order to lower the point of the guide into a better position for wrapping. That wrap actually took me at least twice as long to complete as the wrap I did on the properly ground guide. I had to spend more time packing my thread and burnishing to make it look decent. The transition isn't as smooth and the guide has to be moved around a bit to make it work. The thread gets moved around, causing imperfections and gaps that need to be corrected as you go. I hope this video helps someone out.